Hey everybody, welcome to It Came From GenX. We are so glad to have you here. I am Keith Porter, alongside Brian Fisher and Mike Skinner, two of my bestest buds in the whole wide world, going on 30-something years. Oh my gosh, we're old. What's going on, fellas? Fish, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, brother. Nice weekend. So we'll talk more about this, but saw the new Ghostbusters movie. It was nice.
Okay,
Allie was sick, unfortunately. She's doing all right. She's hanging in there. But
good.
Peyton and her boyfriend, my daughter, Peyton and her boyfriend Joey joined us with Dean and his son, and Nick with his sons from the Convincing Idiot show. We all went out to see the movie together. Yeah, very nice time, and we celebrated the 50th birthday of one of our mutual friends, Jim Surma out there. So happy birthday coming up this week too, Jim. And you also had a birthday, I believe. Keith, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So happy belated birthday to you, brother.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it very much. And speaking of Peyton and I are now Facebook friends. Isn't that something?
Oh yeah, I saw you.
I told her I'm spying on her for you. So
you ain't gonna find much on Facebook. Not with her anyway. Maybe Instagram a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, no problem. Yep. That's good. Skinbone, my man, brother, feels like forever. How are you, bro?
Oh man, it does feel like forever. How you guys doing? It's
well, we missed you, man. I mean, it's like we tell you we can handle it, then you leave, and everything falls apart. Last week, I couldn't get my mic to work, and
that seems to be a weekly occurrence. If it ain't audio, it's video. If it ain't video, it's your internet. It's all that good stuff.
Wait a minute. Who was it we couldn't hear a few minutes ago?
Yeah, right. That's what I get for being gone for 2 weeks. But 2 weeks ago, we were celebrating a birthday before we went on vacation. Miss Serenity, your lovely niece that you
who can do no wrong.
So for some damn reason, you adore the hell out of her.
She can do no wrong.
We went to dinner and sprouted on her that we would be in Florida for her birthday for 5 days. So that was her birthday present prior to leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you guys were recording last week, we were en route to coming home. We got in about 2 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday morning. So
that was right around when Keith got his microphone working.
Got his microphone working?
It's right around 2 a.m.
It felt like it.
It felt like it.
So, yeah, plethora of birthdays. So we had Serenity on the 11th. Yes. We got Cooper on the 18th. Yours is on the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
We had Surma's in there. So happy belated birthday to everybody.
Yes. And, I told Serenity on Facebook, but you remind her of he has something for her. I have to make my way over there.
I gotcha. But we had a good time. Took the family from here. We went to Florida and then came back. And so it really wasn't a vacation, but we just did family life outside of Ohio. So
I hear you.
We're glad to
have you back. Definitely glad to have you back. Good to have the trio back together again. And I know we got some good stuff for the people today. But before we do that, Fish, tell them where they can find us.
All right. You might be listening to us on WMVU.org, Global Internet Radio, Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Just pull up their site, click live listen, and you can play a live stream of our show. And check out their other content they have there too. They have other shows and good music and all that good stuff there. You can listen to us whenever you want to on demand on your favorite podcast platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Just give us a subscribe, and new episodes will pop in your feed for you at no cost to you. All show information, YouTube channel, Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those links to our social media. You can find the two main places. Our Linktree account. Just look up Linktree, one word. It came from GenX. And you'll find our Linktree page. Simply links to all of our social media. That's it. Simple. and our website. It came from GenX, one word, .wordpress.com. All show links there, new episode links, video links, promos. Sausage links might be there.
Sorry,
absolutely.
Hungry.
All that stuff
Somebody
is there.
Somebody didn't have
dinner. Yeah, so if you go to one main place to keep up with us, go to our website. It came from genx.wordpress.com. And if you are so inclined, want to give us a couple of bucks there, consider becoming a Patreon of the show. Donate whatever you want, one-time donation, whatever you want to do. If you want to get us a new microphone or get Skinner a new headset or something like that, or whatever.
Some sausage for Keith.
Sausage from Keith. I was literally going to say that. That's funny.
Thank you. Finally.
Yep. So, and if you like our stuff as well, tell a friend, and we appreciate your support out there. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That sounds great. And we want to say hello to Gustavus Dominic, my man, and the DJ booth at WMBU.org, making this all happen. And he gets the show, makes the magic. But the magic behind the curtains is really made by our own Mike Skinner's son, Mike Skinner Jr. What's up, Junior? Thank you for your expertise. And God knows your patience. So you got to have that with it. So anyway, this is our Thanksgiving show.
Yes, that's right.
Right. And in the pre-production meeting, I didn't say anything about that or about this. So curveball at you guys.
Here we
Before
go.
we get started on, here we go. Started on our topic. I thought we would take a moment to name a few things that we are thankful for. Boom. No children. I know what type of fathers we all are. I know how we feel about the lows of our lives. That's a given. So exclude all of that.
Okay.
So since I threw you guys under the bus, I'll go first. Give you a minute to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
As we look at the world we're living in right now, so much uncertainty, so much fear gripping people. Especially in this COVID world that we're living in, people are losing it, and they don't have a good grip on reality, or they don't have the structural foundation that some of us have. And I would certainly personally be as bold to say they don't have God in their life. That's me personally. But when I look at that, the one thing that I'm truly grateful for is peace of mind. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have any peace of mind, you might as well just forget it. And I'm really thankful for that. I am really thankful to have real friends. And nobody can convince me that I don't. I love you guys with all my heart. I know there's nothing I couldn't ask you for that you wouldn't do if you could do it. And that's like the biggest thing to me. I feel totally rich knowing that I have actual, real friends. We don't have to talk on the phone every day to prove we're friends or go out every weekend. But, 30-something years and going strong. And I love you guys for that. And the other thing that I am grateful for is how beautiful and talented I am. I think that is, man, some people don't have that. And here I am just in abundance.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for that. Oh, and being humble. So.
And you emphasize abundance, right?
Yes, in abundance, right. Go ahead, Skinner.
Well, you kind of stole my thunder with the friends, because that's actually first and foremost. I can't talk about my kids, and God knows there's enough of them, and grandkids and all that. So it goes without giving. But the friendship that I have with you two gentlemen, Coach Cooper, there's a couple others from Kenmore, Larry Fornash and his wife Missy both went to Kenmore. Brian and the late Darius Boggs, Brian, his younger brother, who I'm still very close with. These are people I met when I was just a young lad at Ennis Junior High School or in Smith School in Kenmore. here I am approaching 50 next month, and I am still just as close to all of you now as I was growing up as a kid. And for that, you talk about rich and abundance. You know, there are people that are jealous of the friendships that I have.
Yeah,
Not many
absolutely.
people can say they even have one friend that they carried from school, and I can say I've got several, and I've got three other ones that are from different mothers, but they had the same blood as I do.
Right.
And that's, you know, they can't separate us from that. I'm also very thankful for the job that I have. Not many people will say that or can say that or want to say that. I truthfully am thankful for the paycheck I receive every week, the people I work with. Yeah, I've got a new studio and a new office down here in the basement that I finally finished, so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. And I need to borrow some money. I'll talk to you about it later. We'll talk later.
But those of you that have been following us through all this, I hurt my finger. I tried cutting my fingers off, I should say. Redoing the basement in the house. I put the final nail into the baseboard yesterday morning. I moved my office down here, so it is finally complete. You can see it's a different background if you're watching us on video. So very thankful for that. I'm just thankful for a lot of things. But
I'm sure we can all go on.
Right. I got to say one more thing, and I know you said I couldn't do that, but I have to thank Marcy for all this. What I've put this woman through for the last 5 months with my hand and my surgery and all this. With that. I have to be, you know, I have to say that she's my rock.
I think any of us that know you guys know that you got a good one. You got really blessed there. So ain't nothing wrong with mentioning that, man. I just knew it was a given. That's all. I couldn't mention it. But, I just want to say this real quick. One of the biggest smiles I ever got on my face is when my mom walked by me and said, "You have some really good friends." And I was like, that was really cool when she said that to me one day. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, very cool.
That's nice. We'll have to meet those guys sometime. They sound pretty nice. You know,
right?
That would be really nice, so you guys can see how it's done. Jerks.
No, I'm thankful. I mean, obviously, you mentioned the things that are given with family and significant other. You know, Allie's my angel on earth and all that, and. I'm like Skinner. I'm truly thankful for the job. It was a pain in the ass at times, but it's a reliable job. We've been able to keep it during the pandemic. A lot of people can't say that. It's
kudos
steady.
For both of you for even mentioning that. I get so tired of people complaining every day and all day about their job, and I wanted to smack them and say, "You have any idea how blessed you are?" So just kudos for both of you for mentioning that.
Like I tell you, if a lot of people are complaining about their job, I almost guarantee a lot of them never been laid off in their life. If you've been laid off, you've been laid off a time or two, especially as you get a little older. You rethink a lot of things about your job. Anyhow, been able to maintain pretty good health. I did get COVID. It was fairly minor. No one. I mean, I can't think of anyone who I know, fortunately, who had it significantly and lost their life or anything during this crazy time. And the friendship stuff, I mean, you guys mentioned it too, but some quote out there, one of my favorite quotes, I should know it by heart if it's one of my favorites, but it's something along the lines of, "He who has friends is a rich man," basically. And you guys kind of said the same thing. So there's a lot of people that are very lonely in life, especially as they get older. I know, absolutely. I know for me, and you guys share the same sentiment that, if I needed to talk to somebody, I have friends out there I could call, if I need to talk, and people would stop what they were doing, make time. If I really needed something, I know they would be there. If I need to go out to have a beer, whatever it is, I know I could find somebody.
If you needed
to do
kidney, I would check to see if Skinner was a match.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So thank you. I love you guys as well, and the other close friends out there: Cooper, Cunningham, Dean, Nick. A lot of names out there to put out there too. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I have so many circles that I'm blessed to run in. It's really awesome. I have you guys and then my bands. All the guys in the 3 bands that I'm playing in now, they're all like brothers. It's weird when I go from one band to the next. It's all the same dynamic, and I get the same cracks from all my groups. It's either about, trying to get a high colonic or the massage parlor. It's funny how that happens, but okay, guys, let's get this show cracking on the road. Start with some world news. Skinner.
All right. Yes. World news. Well, this is kind of close to home news, and in honor of Michigan Ohio State week, which you're going to talk a little bit more in detail about the football aspect of that later.
Right, and let's not miss out on the shirt here. That's a great shirt for those of you on the radio. He's wearing his Buckeye hat, and his shirt says, "I had a nightmare. I was a Michigan fan." That's how that hatred runs here, baby.
That is. Funny thing is, I wore that to the airport going down to Florida and then coming back, and I can't tell you how many people chuckled, especially on the flight home to Cleveland, because I'm coming back to Buckeye fans. So, but yeah, you guys ever hear of a little store called Kmart? Remember that place?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Sebastian Spearing Kresge, I think is his name, established this place in 1962. His first store opened in Garden City, Michigan, and at the time he had opened 87 stores within the first 5 years of opening Kmart, and then it exploded. Went all over the East Coast, and I think even went Midwest, and I don't recall how far west they went. But just yesterday, the last one in the state of Michigan closed their doors for good. Where's that? Garden City, Michigan, which is a suburb of Marshall, a suburb of Battle Creek. They closed their doors for good. At the end of this year, I could go on with the story because I did a little bit of detail. They were in riches, and then Walmart came, Target came, and then Amazon came. The internet just destroyed them, unfortunately.
E-commerce.
And there'll be 6 stores left at the end of 2021 out of over 1,000 stores they had at one time.
Wow.
Absolutely
incredible.
Mind-boggling.
That is incredible.
They went in bankruptcy, I think, in 2002, and then Sears bought them, or they bought Sears and thinking they would combine with Sears and they would be able to stay as a conglomerate, and we all know that failed as well because we don't have Sears anymore either. So I wanted to ask you guys if you can name some stores, whether it's locally, nationally, that are no longer with us, that might have a special meaning to you guys. A couple of things that come to mind to me is obviously Higbee's in downtown Akron. I know my parents could talk for hours about that Higbee's down there. And there's the one up in Cleveland where it's now the casino, if I'm not mistaken. Also, another big one back in the day was called Gold Circle. If you remember Gold Circle up at Rolling Acres, and there's one out there in Arlington Street before they closed down. And then you got to talk about the mall in general. The malls were huge when we were growing up. We had 3 good ones. We had Rolling Acres Mall, which was probably our favorite because it was close to home. You always went to Chapel Hill during Christmas time to go see what the heck was that big Archie. You go see Archie and his mean old self. Everybody was so afraid of him. And then you also had Summit Mall, which was a great store out there in Montrose. So I'll leave it to you guys to do some memories of you guys. I know I wasn't a big mall rat. My dad would take me and my sister on Christmas Eve. My sister would go because she knew where all the shops were in the mall.
Right.
We'd power shop for the entire family and extended family in about 3 hours. My dad and I would go and get our things. Teresa would tell us where they are, and boom, we're done. But that was about the extent of my mall. I wasn't really a mall person, especially as I got older.
Okay. Well, you said some stores that I was going to mention, so I believe those alone. But I'm going to pick 2 here real quick. The one I remember a lot was O'Neill's.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, O'Neill's kind of had this air of classiness to it. It really wasn't. But But I think O'Neill's sticks in my mind because my sister worked there for like 17 years or something crazy. And I'll never forget going with my mom every single day to down 76 to Gilcrest Road, picking her up at the O'Neill's warehouse every single day. That ride was something to me. It's the first time I ever got to notice things on the highway because we took the same ride every day as a little child. And it just kind of meant something to me. That was a special moment taking that ride out there. So that's why O'Neill sticks in my head. But certainly Rolling Acres Mall, because that was the first time that we experienced independence. You know, we were able to go to the malls or, either the bus or get dropped off and be left alone. The mall actually was a modern day babysitter for a lot of parents. Stay at the mall, don't go anywhere. And parents felt safe as long as they were up there with hundreds of other kids, they'd be okay. So the mall became a babysitter for so many. And just feeling independent, walking around, no parents, trying to talk to girls, all these things. And of course, there was the social status involved. You wanted to have some money so you could buy anything and walk around with a bag. If you didn't have a bag, you weren't cool. So you had to have a bag to carry something to say you had a little bit of money. The cookie store, the little mini chocolate chip cookies, I remember those. They were always so hot. But I love walking around Rolling Acres Mall, going to the theater up there. That was just the greatest time for me. And of course, a bunch of ignorant fools ruined it for everybody with all the fights. And I remember the Mounties. Remember the security guards that looked like freaking Canadian Mounties couldn't beat up each other, let alone, anybody at the mall. But those are great memories for me. Fish?
Yeah, I'm with you on the local mall. It was absolutely, it would just, right up there with your parents, get dropped off. They'd just be up there for hours, and they didn't question you. We didn't leave the mall. Didn't want to leave the mall.
They didn't want to leave
because it was a whole scene. I remember walking up there sometimes from our. That was a long walk, but we'd go up there sometimes. But so definitely a nice social status there. Some of the shops you mentioned there, like Music Land. All that. I remember Eastern Art up there, where you could literally walk into a store as a teenage kid, no questions asked, and buy martial arts weapons.
Yes.
Legit.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Legit weapons.
I bought so much stuff out of there.
Yeah, like nunchucks, throwing stars, legit stuff, and walk right out of there, and they didn't question anything. Yeah. You would not see that these days. But that
Bruce
was pretty...
Lee and Chuck Norris, all that stuff was big back then too. So
yep.
Yeah.
So, remember I forgot about that place.
Yeah.
And
remember the penny fountain?
The penny fountain, the arcade up there, it was a whole other status and fun. The Aladdin's Castle up there.
Cool.
But
I would lose hours in the arcade.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then just as a kid, you guys mentioned a couple already. Just you gonna say something else, Skinner? Sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
Around this time of year, I have fond memories. My mom and grandmother and I, when I was a kid, would take the bus annually for a few years to downtown Akron to Polsky's and O'Neill's, which are right across the street from each other, and check out the windows. They had all the animated figures, and go see Santa Claus and Christmas shop. Those are just great memories. They have awesome dinner, memories. Have lunch at the the O'Neill's counter, the old lunch counter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just great time. And then locally here, McDowell's Pharmacy, right on Kenmore Boulevard, just before the chain pharmacies came in with Rite Aid and Walgreens and all this. Was a family-owned little pharmacy for years and years and years. To ride my bike down there as a kid, they had just a hodgepodge of stuff, candies and pop and books and all that type of stuff. Obviously, other pharmacies did too, but it was just a feel of that family little
it was a great feeling,
business.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
guys, let me ask you a question. What was the place? Okay, it's still kind of a hotel, but University of Akron owns it now. It's like a dorm room as well. The
Quaker
hotel,
Square.
Quaker Square.
Yes, indeed.
Oh man, at Christmas time, there was no better place to be. I could have just lived in there all day long.
It was the old Quaker Oats place there. And the silos were there. There's now apartments in the silos, a hotel for a minute, but they had hotels in the silos there for a while. But you're right, Christmas time, they had that big train set at that trolley restaurant over there and stuff like that. So nice memories. I agree with that.
Great memories.
Yeah, things of the past. Things of the past. You're not going to see that type of stuff as much. That's for sure.
You don't get those family, at least I don't know of any of those family fun, warm memory type places out there anymore with things. So today's modern society is with the internet, and people just don't want to be out with all the idiots that are out there in this world.
I think about these memories you guys are talking about. And then you look at these idiots like on Black Friday and whatnot, and fighting over products, and like, are you serious?
Not shopping anyway. You're right. Those memories of shopping as a family at Christmas time. It's sort of getting to think of. But there's other stuff too out there now with different light shows and different things you can go. There's more of that stuff. It seems like these days where you can go to the zoo and see lights and different stuff like that, which are nice. I don't know, but you're right. The whole family Christmas shopping experience seems to be a thing of the past for sure. Anyway, all right, cool.
Well, before you close that out, Skinner, I just want to say that was a shocking statistic about the stores that have closed and how many are left. And I guess we're all part of that. I know I am, because Amazon lives at my house.
Mm-hmm.
No, the drivers by names anymore.
I think that's I think that would be a great topic one day. Are we trading the great experience for the convenience of having product delivered to your house? That'd be a great topic one day. I miss some of those memories we're talking about. But man, everybody's so busy. Not tired. We're older. It's just so easy to go on. I got tired of going to different grocery stores finding Life cereal. And I like Total cereal. Total. It's one of the healthiest things you can buy as far as all the vitamins in it. And I use it, mix it in my protein drink. But only so many grocery stores carry it. I got tired of it. I just went on freaking Amazon. Boom. Box of the Total sent to my house.
Yep.
It's weird, but okay.
Maybe that's a get off your lawn episode. Maybe we'll do a mini-sode or something like that. We've done one of those.
There you go.
Okay, Skinner, is that all you got for us today?
That is all I've got.
That's great stuff, man. We certainly appreciate it. Okay, so a little bit of, I do sports and music, but no sports, but we have some music. Today. You see LeBron got into a little thing last night. Blood was involved. Yeah, that was funny, but certainly in music, some interesting things caught my attention. And I'll read my This Day in Music story. This Day in Music, 1975. Casey and the Sunshine Band started a 2-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts with "That's the Way." Certainly, it was their second number 1 of the year. We all remember "Shake, Shake, 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 Shake Your Booty." But anyway, I was thinking about Casey and the Sunshine Band when I read this, and just remembering how, this was one of the great multiracial bands. I don't think you get enough credit for that. I think it's important, along with maybe the Doobie Brothers. And I think them doing that was a contribution to society. People seeing how we could work together, how we combine cultures and music. I mean, Doobie Brothers was one of the great bands of all time, man, ever. And I think a lot of bands saw this, and it helped them with, with that concept. I know in my career, being a black man, I grew up in a lot of heavy metal or rock bands. It was never an issue. Well, let me put it this way. It was only an issue to some. And I don't mean always in a bad way, but somebody had to point it out. But most of my career was just like, hey, I need a good drummer. You're the guy. And I've always appreciated that when I didn't have to somebody had to point it out. I always wanted to be looked at as a drummer, not a black drummer or a black drummer that played heavy metal. It always bothered me. So I thought it would be really great to look at some of the great multiracial bands in history. We have them going all the way back to the 60s. As a matter of fact, the first who's credited will be in the first mixed race band is a band called Black Skin Blue Eyed Boys from the 60s. I had 3 black guys, 2 white guys, 2 blonde white guys in the band. I've never heard of them. I never heard their music. I'm certainly going to look them up, but I just found that out tonight. But I thought we could talk about some of the great mixed bands of today. Starting back, I think the Jimi Hendrix Experience is someone who definitely deserves a lot of credit.
Sure.
There was UB40. And there's a rap group. The one rapper, Killer Mike. He's also kind of a activist, if you will, black activist. But he has a white guy with him. They're called Run the Jewels. They're very, very popular today. There's also a group called Alabama Shakes. Incredible if you haven't heard them.
I've heard them. Good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thin Lizzy. Interesting band. The lead singer looked black, but he was actually what you would call Afro-Guyanese, if you will. Sly and the Family Stone, one of the great ones. And
How about Prince and the Revolution?
Prince and the Revolution, great group that really showed the combination of just people coming together and making great music. I like today's bands. I know a band that I hipped you to, Kill Switch Engage.
Sure.
Mike Jones, the singer, he's left the band. The singer that they brought in or brought back by the name of Jesse, him and Mike are great friends. They both sang together on certain songs with Kill Switch Engage, and that's just something you don't see often. First of all, black guy elite in a metal band, but especially one that heavy. One of my favorite bands of all time, Seven Dust. And there's the Dave Matthews Band. Even Slayer, the bassist is just Chilean. Most people didn't know that. Of course, Dream Theater, John Young is Korean. And the band Block Party has a black lead singer and rhythm guitarist. If you're familiar with them, are there any that stick out to you guys that you can think of that maybe I didn't mention?
Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
Excellent,
yeah,
excellent. They've been around since the 70s, and his saxophone player was very well loved and respected in that band. What was his name again?
Clarence
Clemens.
Clarence
Clemens, yeah.
Great pick. Can you think of any Skinner?
Was Hootie and the Blowfish?
Absolutely. What a great selection. They blew up the charts when they came in.
Yeah, Darius Rucker as a country singer is doing just as well.
Phenomenal. One of my favorites. He's just one of my favorite singers, period.
There's also another country artist, real quick. His name's Jake Owen.
Yes.
I can't remember. I know his drummer is African American, and I think maybe his bassist is as well. Playing country music out on tour with him.
Yeah, there's quite a few country artists who have people of different races playing in their bands. I know what's her name? These Any Man of Mine, Shania Twain. Her drummer was black. She had on tour for a while. I love it because we said Run the Jewels, that's a rap group. Kill Switch Engage, that's a heavy metal band. Hootie and the Blowfish, that was what, pop
or soft rock.
Soft rock. So all these different types of genres, and you had all these different multiracial bands. I think it can do nothing but good. It sends out a good message, and I think music helps brings people together when you see more of this.
Absolutely.
I used to have people introduce me to people and make it a point that I was a black guy in a metal band. And then so, man, he's cool because of that. I'm like, that would really irritate me. So if I wasn't, I'm not cool now. You know, stupid stuff like that used to get on my nerves. But I'm so grateful that we live in a time now where you see more and more of this, and people don't think anything of it. People get angry when they see traditional roles, and whether it be a story, a comic book, or whatever, switched over to a person of color. And I think what that's doing is doing what music did all these years. Of course, it was more organic in music, but what they're trying to do is make it so that this isn't such a thing anymore. You know, they made Nick Fury a black man when they gave that role to Samuel L. Jackson. He was traditionally a white guy with white sideburns, and always smoking cigars. And then all of a sudden, now Nick Fury's the guy. I remember when the Hunger Games came out, the one young girl, they made her black in the movie, and there was so much controversy, people just throwing hissy fits over that. She wasn't even in the movie that long. She got killed. But I think what the message is the same thing that I said when Barack Obama ran for president. And I was like, you know what? I don't know much about this guy's politics. I don't know if he'll be a good president, but I'm voting for him. I'm voting for him for the simple reason that I'm tired of it being an issue about a black president. So maybe if we have a couple, we start looking at people for who they are and what they're worth, and the job they can do, and stop making it all about race. If we could get that out of the way, and we could get that out of our freaking system. So I credit these bands for doing this early. One of the few things in life that broke down barriers between us, and I'm very grateful to them. Fish, any comments?
No, just said it. I can't top what you said, man. I agree with it.
All right, Skinner?
Yeah, same thing. You couldn't have said it any better.
Okay, brother. So, also in music, I saw a meme today on Facebook, and I believe you guys said you might have saw it as well. And it asked an interesting question. It said, name an album you can listen to front to back. Us being Gen Xers, we grew up listening to actual albums. You know?
Vinyl.
Gosh,
Vinyl.
Hey, I remember having to listen to an 8-track, and you had to wait to play through to get back to that song you liked.
Yep.
Because there was no fast forwarding or whatever. So I do remember that. But I was just the concept of an album front to back, even a cassette, if you will, or CD, was a great experience. Now you just stream a song and hear a couple songs here and there, but albums. And so many times I have missed what was on the actual album because I could pick and choose the songs that I heard. And I have to make myself hear the whole album, because you'll miss a great song that maybe wasn't released, wasn't, put on the radio or TV or something. And I have to remember how cool it was to listen to the whole album and find those great little gem songs that maybe only you like, But so I wanted to name a few of the albums that you guys can listen to from front to back. And I'll go ahead and start it off. The first thing that came to my mind, it's just one of my favorite albums of all time. I think it's one of the greatest produced albums ever, and that is Pyromania by Def Leppard. I just never heard anything, a rock album produced so perfectly in my life. The drums, everything. It was just sheer brilliance. And I love every single song on that album.
It's a good one.
Yeah. The other one, it's actually a person, because I can't think of any album this person's made that I could not listen to from front to back, and that's any Michael Jackson album. Just sheer genius. I have to show you guys a video where Michael was talking, and he said for every album he's ever released, he's written over 100 songs for that album. That's incredible.
Heard that. Yeah, I've heard that before.
I believe
utterly incredible. Certainly my favorites would be Thriller, Bad, and what was the one after Bad? Had Man in the Mirror on it. I had Give In to Me, but those are three of my three favorites. Earlier today when we were in high school, I don't know if you guys remember this, but my favorite group back then was the Fat Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, God, I love me some Fat Boys. Every album they made, I listened to front to back and upside down. They were the most fun band.
Yeah.
And also, I think you guys can relate to me. There was a time, a little section here, every Queensryche album from their first EP to Promised Land.
Right here, brother.
Was sheer,
yeah, right there.
Sheer genius. And I could listen to every single note front to back all day long.
They always told a story.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. I got most recently would be Shinedown. They're one of my favorite
good group, really good group.
Up to date bands. Yeah, I've seen them several times in concert. Brent Smith, I've seen him at his worst. I've seen him at his best. The guy's got some pipes, and their album Amaryllis is one of my favorites that they've put out from all the, they got 6 or 7 albums out. I think Amaryllis is my favorite. There's not a bad song on the album.
I need to listen more to them because everything I've heard I loved.
Yeah. There's a song called I Ain't Right. It talks about someone who's not mentally. I can
see why you would like it.
Yeah, it came out during a time I was going through some things, and anyways, I'll have to send the song to you guys. You can just listen to it. It's something that
Who else you got?
means a lot. All of the Van Halen albums. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Great
choice.
From David Lee Roth Van Halen from the 70s and early 80s to, Van Hagar. I listened to every song.
Every song had some genius on it. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then, of course, Metallica in between the two. Every Metallica album that's come out from front to back, I listen to.
Yeah, another good choice.
Those are my good ones.
Good stuff, Fish.
Well, the tape I held up while you were talking there, of course, if you're watching a video, you saw it, but Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime, one of the favorite albums of all time. I went to a concert with Cunningham once. It was the Empire Tour, okay?
I was there.
Suicidal Tendencies opened up for him.
I was there. Yes,
and
I was there.
They surprisingly sang the entire Mindcrime album
front to back. After doing the Empire concert.
Yep.
Yeah, they did the Empire concert, and the lights went off like the show was over.
Yep.
And came back and did the whole album front to back. I was losing my mind.
That was one of the greatest concerts I ever saw.
Ever.
Yeah.
I bet.
I'm with you, Skinner, on the Metallica. More for me, earlier stuff, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, Kill 'Em All. Listen to every song. Just enjoy it. Don't skip anything. Just sit there, listen to the whole albums. Don't do it that. Prince, Purple Rain.
Oh, yeah.
Front to back. And a band I still have fun with, even there's so many Rat albums. Invasion of Your Privacy by Rat. That was like to me, that was their pinnacle of the 80s.
I totally agree.
Every song, I love it, love it, love it. I can't skip, never could. Since the day I bought the album, I could never skip ahead on any song on that album. Just great, great stuff. There's a lot of Dokken albums I could say the same thing for, frankly. And then I'll throw one more at you. Back in Black, AC/DC. You got the couple, You Shook Me All Night Long. We hear too much on the radio. Back in Black a little bit. But the other songs, it's a great, great party album. I would play that album every single party we had at Cooper and I's play. If you want to sit down and party and hang out with your friends, you can't go wrong with Back in Black, AC/DC. Just put it on. You get about an hour right there of entertainment and just good, fun rock music. Terrific stuff. So we can name a lot more. That's a few. Yeah.
Yes, I want to say this because I'd be remiss if I didn't. I have my 5 favorite vocalists of all time. Jeff Tate, formerly of Queensryche. Can't think of his name, but from the band Fates Warning. Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, and she just passed away, a gospel singer by the name of Tremaine Hawkins, the most incredible voice I've ever heard. Her first album, entitled Tremaine, was the greatest single most brilliant, beautiful, uplifting album I've ever heard. I still listen to it to this day. So that was from the 70s. All right. Okay. Well, that's it, guys, for all I have for sports and music today. Fish, pop culture.
All right, very good. And this segment, Pop Culture, is brought to you by the RPM Bike Shop. Look them up on Facebook. Electric bikes, great family business. Happens to be owned by Julie and Rob Roebuck.
We know that family.
Yes, absolutely. Coop's sister and brother-in-law. So great electric bikes. Check them out if you're in the market. You can ride the bike like normal or use the electric boost on the trails, on the street. Check them out. RPM Bike Shop on Facebook. All their information's there for you.
Quality people and certainly quality bikes. I got to see the bikes up close a couple weeks ago. I was totally blown away.
Absolutely. Okay, so we had a composer that we are aware of, certainly in our generation. Absolutely. Dave Frishberg passed away recently at aged 88. So one of his most famous songs that he wrote included an ode to his lawyer and a mocking look at self-congratulatory hipness. So he had a lot of songs around that, but his most famous composition was probably I'm Just a Bill from Schoolhouse Rock. If you are our age and watched cartoons, which we all did on Saturday mornings, you know what Schoolhouse Rock is. You still know it. Probably could sing a good chunk of that song even sitting here right now.
If you are
at least
in
know
this
the
country,
chorus.
It is one of the greatest memories of our childhood.
Absolutely. So great fun. Schoolhouse Rock. So, just in general, beyond Mr. Frischberg and rest in peace, we definitely enjoyed that song. So Schoolhouse Rock was one of the, this obviously, again, before the days of cable and streaming and all that shit. I mean, we had to sit down and watch. We had a couple stations that had cartoons, and whoever came up with it was ingenious to come up with some catchy songs with great animation to teach kids something while you're watching cartoons was pretty astounding, and we learned a lot from Schoolhouse Rock.
They changed how we learn.
Yeah.
If you look at today, I have a 3-year-old nephew who blows our mind. The stuff he says around here, like, not only how do you know that word, but how do you know how to use it correctly? He knows the vernacular. He's so intelligent, his concepts. And I started paying attention to the things that he watches, his little computer with his headphone. And then I'm like, man, these cartoons have grown so. My son's just turned 24, but when he was a kid, we would watch Blue's Clues.
Sure.
And they used all these little catchy songs to teach. And it all started with, your Sesame Street little credit and all that. But it all started with Schoolhouse Rock. That teaching us, we learned stuff about Constitution, we learned about conjunctions, all that stuff because of these amazing songs.
That's right. Verb, that is what's happening. That's right.
That is what's happening.
That's right.
First black superhero verb.
Yeah. Remember that? That was pretty good.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite Schoolhouse Rock? What's some of your favorites that you remember? You've already, go ahead.
Throw me off. I'm trying to remember. I was not a big Saturday morning cartoon guy because of bowling. So I'm kind of behind. I know the show, but for me to go back and it's tough for me because I was a bowler on Saturday mornings all the way from 5 years old until.
That's right. You told us that.
To college. So I never did watch. I wasn't the Saturday morning cartoon guy. So I can't really answer that question. I know the show. I know the premise. I know it was a great learning one, but for me to give you an example, I can't do it, unfortunately.
Okay. So here I got them listed here. Electricity.
Great one.
Yes, you missed. I'm Just a Bill. That was great. And the telegraph line, I thought that was just an awesome one.
Yep.
Verb. Just to see a black superhero in that was great. I thought they crossed lines, and it was just beautiful. And the Great American Melting Pot might be my favorite.
That's a good one.
It talked about the country and what was the one that explained the government, how it worked?
That might be just a bill that kind of describes
That's right.
how
Oh, it's just a bill. Okay, I'm thinking of something
came
else.
to be.
Yes, I thought that was great.
And the
So there was so many good ones.
junction.
Yeah.
I tell you, you can find this out there. This came out in the late '90s. Look it up. It's a CD. Probably find it on streaming, I'm sure. But it's called Schoolhouse Rock Rocks. Okay, and it's a bunch of '90s bands sang in their own style a Schoolhouse Rock song. Terrific stuff. It will take you back as a whole modern twist
That'd be
of
great.
like rock music, singing the old Schoolhouse Rock songs. So check that out. Schoolhouse Rock Rocks. Find that out there, and if you're a fan, you will enjoy that album for sure.
Right. There's an art. Being a musician, I just want to say, there's a certain art and talent that people have to make something stick in your head.
Sure.
You could use a single word, but sing it in the right key and the right phrasing, and people can't get rid of it. I give an example. There's a commercial right now. Somebody has made hundreds of $1,000s using one word: liberty, liberty, liberty.
Yeah.
But it sticks in your head. You know what I'm saying? And, that's called marketing. And the people who did the Schoolhouse Rock were total geniuses to come up with unbelievable song after another. I think it changed the landscape of teaching kids. So just kudos to that type of talent.
Yeah, definitely. Some of those damn Saturday morning ads, those Schoolhouse Rocks and the hanker for a hunk of cheese and all that stuff.
Gosh,
man,
yes.
it takes you right back to that era, but good stuff.
Okay. Mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I am wearing a retro Ghostbusters shirt this evening in honor of the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie opened this past weekend. Big numbers, 44 million at the North American box office. I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you are a fan of the original movies, you will enjoy this movie. Definitely paid tons of homage to the original movie, from the music to the original car to, it's no big secret there, but the original living Ghostbusters made an appearance in the movie.
Yeah, I was like, I think that's pretty cool. By Afterlife.
Yeah, absolutely.
You Hudson in a while.
No, you haven't. But the premise is basically the grandchildren of Egon. Egon passes away, leaves the house to his daughter. She's estranged from him for many years. Doesn't really understand why.
Mm-hmm.
They get on some hard times. Have to move out to this farmhouse in this small town in Oklahoma. Things are happening. They start to find things around the house that Grandpa was up to, and you kind of wonder, it's some big things are happening. You kind of learn why he moved out there and stuff like that. Paul Rudd's in the movie. You probably know that. He was terrific, but just a lot of fun. So if you do go see it, check it out and stay. Which we did not. We missed one credit scene. There's two post-credit scenes. There's a one and one at the very end of the credits, which we freaking missed, but you can read it. We'll see it eventually. But
same thing I did with Eternals.
just stay anymore through the credits. But check those out, and you will definitely have a lot of fun.
You know what's my fondest memory of Ghostbusters?
What's that?
It was so huge when it came out. Skinner, I'm sure I know you remember. I don't know if you remember. We did it in marching band, a competition.
Oh yes,
we
did. Absolutely.
And my own Mary Beth played bass guitar on that song.
Wow.
We talk about that all the time.
Yeah, I remember that the bass drums turned and they had the cymbal on the side, and we all had the ghosts. We spun around.
Yes.
And then we had a balloon we would left off, like a ghost would fly out, and the crowd would cheer and stuff like that.
Pushing the amp out there. I think it was some car battery or something, or a little
I think that was
the bass. Oh, don't tell her I said that. But
I think that was the year before I got to high school, but I was there for the show competition for Bandorama.
But yeah, freshman year, that. Keith, I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, great good memories. Stuff there. Back in 84, 85. Yeah, absolutely.
Look forward to seeing that.
Yeah. Interesting new comedy that's coming soon. Randall Park. Randall Park, you might know the name. He was in most recently WandaVision. He was one of the FBI agents. He's the Asian person of Asian descent.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That guy. Okay.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of different TV shows and stuff. Mm-hmm. He's in that Rock TV show, Young Rock. He's the guy that interviews The Rock on the show. But very, very good. But they're setting up a new series that's going to premiere on Netflix. It's set in the last Blockbuster video store, which is interesting, because there actually is one working Blockbuster, which you can actually find a documentary on Netflix that talks about it. It is in Bend, Oregon, is the actual Blockbuster. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't have a whole lot about it, other than it's going to take place in that Blockbuster. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think he's pretty funny. And the whole premise of the dying out.
He's all over the Marvel universe as different people. He was in WandaVision, but he's also in Ant-Man and Wasp.
Okay, I did not know that.
A different character. Yeah, he was one of the friends of Paul Rudd.
Okay.
Their little business they started. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be in the new Aquaman movie coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
And the Marvels. Yeah, he's all over the place.
Yeah, he's good. He's funny. He's got that dry humor type, approach. So, yeah, good for him.
He was in Aquaman as well.
Okay. Very good. Hard to use dry humor in Aquaman, I guess. But there you go. There's the Aquaman's is water.
We got to keep going. Okay. Don't quit your day job. I'm glad you like that job you got.
Yeah.
You're going to need it.
I better hang on to it. Jesus.
Yeah, you're a kid, buddy.
I better go answer a couple emails after this or something.
Right.
Yeah. Keep that thing going. And there's an interesting documentary. It's premiered, I think, last weekend on Hulu and FX, called Malfunction, The Dressing Down of Janet Jackson. It's a documentary about the whole ridiculous 2004 already. I can't believe it's been that long ago. The 2004 Super Bowl halftime show, which you might remember, definitely if you're our age, you remember it. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake had this performance. Don't know exactly what happened, and I guess they go into it to explore it, but he grabs her breast on television and pulls her outfit. It rips away, and right there on live television. And of course, I looked away at that exact moment, missed the daggone thing. But her breast was exposed on national television. It was a whole huge uproar. They had to go on and apologize publicly on CBS television, apparently. And then Justin Timberlake did apologize like years later, and this and that. And as you guys remember, at the time they were, the Super Bowl was, bringing on modern acts and all that, and that completely went away from modern acts for it was definitely a few years. I remember the next year was like the Rolling Stones, and then of course, then on a positive note, they brought Prince out there, which was one of the greatest halftime, if not the great, definitely one of the greatest of all time, without question. And then now they're finally getting back into some of the more modern acts again and all that, and causing more uproar. But at the time, that was like a huge deal, as you guys remember.
It was.
So I don't know that I'm interested in the documentary. I am curious to hear their side of it.
Story can you make out of this?
I know.
Listen, I remember very clearly I was at late great. You guys all remember B.
Yep.
Rest in peace. At his basement, his man cave. This is what I drank, and we were all pretty lit. And I remember I was the only one paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, "Hey man, I just saw her nipple," and nobody believed me.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what my thoughts are about that? As time went on, I was so disappointed in that because Justin Timberlake, his talent stands on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And Janet Jackson is part of music royalty.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was such a Bush League move to try to call it a malfunction in the beginning. You know this was done on purpose. And they finally stopped sticking to that line and admitted that it was. Such a Bush League move for two established artists. If this was a new artist, at least I would understand, the old adage, I don't care what you say, just spell my name right. You made news, you made the internet, you're going to be Googled forever.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, you get your name out there, you roll the dice. I can at least see and understand whether I liked it or not. But for somebody as established as Janet Jackson, I'm so disappointed. Hey, you want to try to make a movie out of this? Whatever.
Yeah, great. Skinner, any thoughts on it?
No, I don't think there's anything else that can be said. I have no desire to see it.
I'm like Seinfeld. I have nipples.
Right. I remember. I think were we
Some
at
would
your
say
house?
I have breasts.
Were we at your house, Fisher, when that actually happened? I'm trying to remember if that was.
I had a bunch of people over. It's certainly possible.
I think we were, and I think we all just kind of looked at each other and go, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah.
But yeah, for them to go on for years to say it was a malfunction and they denied it and this, that, and another, and now here we are, what, 15, 20, almost 17 years later, they're going to talk about it. Yeah, it's in the past. It's done. It's over with. Let's
that
move
camera
on.
have to drop a little lower now.
Right. Just a little.
Yeah. Little side note, though, one of my favorite Super Bowls ever was at your house, Fish.
Yeah, that was the Titans and Rams, right?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, other things that
remember the gambling
occurred.
thing?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Throwing money on the floor. I got $5 if they win the coin toss. Okay.
Oh my God.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, I think it might have been even almost it was just before that game. I found that I was going to be a dad too. I was like, I was like all over the place around that time.
I'll bet.
Yeah, so that was a fun evening for sure. All right.
Wow.
Well, to our fans out there, we promise you, if we ever expose a nipple, it will be on purpose.
I guarantee you.
Yeah. If you hang around long enough on camera, you'll probably see Keith's anyways. Just he likes to change clothes and things before we get started, typically.
It's
and all
bound
that.
to happen.
Yeah.
Nipple shot, moon shot, it's on.
That's right. So, on the wardrobe malfunction note, we are at the top of the hour. So Skinner, do you want to take us out here, please? I cannot think how to tie it all together to a outro here. So
it's hard to leave on that note, but great to be back. Missed you, brothers, while I was gone. Good show, folks. We appreciate your patronage, your listening ears and eyes. Hopefully, tell a friend about us. Direct them to our websites. Go to our YouTube page. All that good stuff. So for Brian Fisher, Keith Porter, I'm Michael Skinner. We wish you well. Happy Thanksgiving, and we will talk to you next week.
To everybody.
Absolutely.
Until next week.
Sorry.
Yep,
until next week.
Thank
you for you fans.
Take
Thank
care,
you. Stay
everybody.
strong, Gen X. Yes.
Time to eat.
And cut.